Hi guys, I'm Mario Frado and this is Making the Case. There's been new reporting from John Roberts at Fox News that among the 17 U.S. intelligence agencies, the majority of them believe that the coronavirus actually did originate at that lab in Wuhan. Now, this really isn't surprising. I was thinking from the jump that basically it's only 8 miles, I think, from where the wet market was, where they claimed the virus started. So this is a level 4 virology center in China, and it's the only one that they have. And they were specifically studying these type of viruses there. Now, China's been trying to compete with us for years. They're similar to the Soviet Union back with the space race. They were trying to do things bigger and better than us, and they really botched this, obviously. So I think China's just been embarrassed. They had the World Health Organization trying to cover up for them during this, telling us it's not transmitted between humans and that it was really something they had under control when they didn't. That's why we're in this mess now. What's really interesting to me, though, is Dr. Fauci's role in this. Because in the beginning, Dr. Fauci was downplaying this. He was telling us it wasn't really a risk to us, that it was something that we shouldn't worry too much about. Then he started changing his tune. But the strange part about everything is how Dr. Fauci never really showed any support for hydroxychloroquine. But now he's all about remdesivir. And remdesivir, what came out of that was they said there's a 31% recovery time improvement. So basically, instead of 14 or 15 days, patients recovered in 11 days. Now, that's really not that good when you look at hydroxychloroquine, and where instead of 14 or 15 days, you were seeing recoveries in 5 days. And Dr. Fauci never had anything to say about that. And what's even more strange is that Dr. Fauci was the one who sponsored the study for remdesivir. It was through the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and he's the director of that. And it's also worth noting that there was no statistical significance between death rates for people who were on remdesivir and who weren't. I think it was 11% of the people who weren't on it died, and then 8% who were on remdesivir died. So it really wasn't a big difference there. But what's really also interesting is that the VA study that came out that showed that hydroxychloroquine wasn't effective, according to them, that study was a mess. And Gilead, who is the pharmaceutical company making remdesivir, they were behind that VA study that basically trashed hydroxychloroquine. Now, that study had so many problems in it. It's not peer-reviewed. And the control group, there was 150 patients who weren't supposed to be on anything. Well, 50 of them, or 30%, were actually on azithromycin, which was one of the drugs that was used in combination with the hydroxychloroquine. So that really wasn't a true control group. Now, there was actually a response to that study by the doctor in France who had done the original hydroxychloroquine study, and he pointed all this stuff out, and he said that it really didn't make any sense because the people that they were putting on the hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin in this VA study, they were people who were already on ventilators, so they were substantially more ill when they started their treatment. So it's no wonder that the death rates were higher among them. And the real problem is that hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and zinc, when used in conjunction, are very effective at stopping the viral spread, but they need to be used early on. They can be used as a prophylactic or used once somebody gets symptoms, but not once they're on a ventilator. Nobody ever claimed that, so this study really didn't make sense. When you look at the study in France, you had a 97%, I think, cure rate using this, and they actually knocked the French study by saying that there was no peer review and everything else, and the study they used to bash it was done the exact same way. So now that it appears that Dr. Fauci has helped Gilead get hydroxychloroquine out of the way, he's paving the way for remdesivir to be what he calls the new standard of care. Now, that's just crazy because most physicians, when you ask them what's the most effective drug or drug combination for this, they will mostly say hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin. Nobody was really touting remdesivir before this, and hydroxychloroquine is cheap. It's something that's been around for decades, and that it's something you can get in generic form. But Gilead's drug is new, and it's something they have a patent on, so they stand to make a ton of money with this. Not to mention that they also applied for what's called orphan drug status with the FDA, and that gives them all sorts of tax breaks and exclusivity on pricing. But They now rescinded that because they got some heat on them from Bernie Sanders and others saying that this was a huge break for them and it didn't make sense in a crisis. So now, to put a good face on it, they're saying that they're going to donate doses until October. But after that, for the next 10 or 20 years, they can basically name their tune with the pricing on this. So I think we need to ask more questions and stay on top of this, because people are dying. And if hydroxychloroquine really is the most effective drug, then that's what we need to be pushing. We can't have Dr. Fauci in bed with these pharmaceutical companies. At least that's what it appears to be. Guys, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, share it, like my page on Facebook, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.